What is up, YouTube? It's me, Streaks, and today I'm going to be kind of doing a group review. I'm going to be doing all 4 of the gacha bays that have been released thus far. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with them, the gacha bays are the newest system to have been released, and sadly, the series that they're in, Beyblade Gachi, is only on the Japanese YouTube channel of Kodo. Thankfully, there are people on YouTube who will upload the episodes, which I thank you all so much for that. If any of you guys, any of the ones who upload those videos actually watch these, I thank you guys so much for that. That makes me so happy because I love watching those, even if I can only understand about that much of it. But back to, so first off, gonna talk about the new gimmick of this series. So with Beyblade Burst, with the first season, they had what was known as a dual layer, and the dual layer was just basic, simple, built for combat. Then they introduced the God layer, and those had some sort of gimmick. I'm going to be mostly talking about Valtryek or Valkyrie, since he's been in every single one. So in Valkyrie's case, it was that spring blade that he had. And then Beyblade Burst Turbo, or Beyblade Burst Chozi, they added metal onto the layer, which I really wish they did that with America, though fingers crossed they do that with the upcoming Beyblades that'll be released soon. But now they've added to the family of Beyblade with Beyblade Burst Gachi. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the first one that you actually see, and that's Slash Valkyrie. So with the Gachi system now, they have it as they've split the energy layer as 3 parts. And those 3 parts include the Gachi chip, which looks pretty cool. Then you have the layer weight, which is this really interesting piece. It sits right under that and adds weight, and in this case it's got 3 main points for the heavyweight, and then finally you have the layer base, which in this case is Slash. So for these guys, you've got it as Slash Valkyrie, and then it goes through the other parts, which I'll talk about in a moment. And then the layer weight, which is Retsu, which is kind of an interesting name, really. But how it works is you take the layer base, you take the layer weight, and you point it so that I don't know how well you can see, but there's a little arrow. Let it kind of focus in. Maybe. Okay, it's not going to focus. But there's an arrow here and an arrow here. You can kind of see that one. But you want to make sure those face towards these gaps that say GT, or have GT on the block. And then you take the Gachi chip and you just kind of press it in until you hear a click. So let me pop it back out real quick. Okay, and then if you heard that click, great. Once you hear that, you can push those white tabs in. If not, there's a click that you'll hear. And then to take it apart, you just pull the white tabs out and then press against the teeth, which in this case, his are actually really weird. Like, they're blocky. Let's angle this so that you guys can see. But moving on to the disc, this one's known as Blitz. It's kind of interesting because it's like a mixture of the claw spin track from the Metal series, which came on Flame Sagittario, and Magnum, which originally debuted with Xeno Excalibur, because you got the red underneath the metal, and then you got the fact that the tabs, once it launches, they'll like fly out. But then you've got the driver, which is Charge, I think it's Charge. No, Power. It's Power. Sorry, had a brain fart there. But it's kind of like nothing because it's got the spring to absorb shock. And then for teeth, so pretty good teeth considering the fact that one of them is block. The downside though is that it actually means that he has 3 teeth rather than 4. But I mean, I guess that still works. So next up we've got Grand Dragon, who when you first get him, you get him in a set, and it comes with 3 layer bases. Sadly, right now I only have this one, but it comes with Grand, it comes with Rock, and it comes with Ace. And by the way, I'll be leaving links for all of the guys that I'm showing here from Amazon. I'll be leaving links to those in the description below if you guys want to buy them. But for now, back to Dragon. And something interesting is that, well, this is the Gachi chip. It's known as Dragon. Then you've got the layer weight, which is Zan. And then you have the Gran layer base, which is kind of a nice red. Each of the layer bases that you get with Dragon, they're actually a representation of a different type. So for those of you who understand Beyblade, there's attack, stamina, and defense. There's also balance, but he doesn't have one of those. And in this case, this one's actually built for the stamina model. And he comes with, well, first let's put it together. So real quick again, this is what it looks like, Grand Dragon. Then it comes with the Forged Disc Sting, which again is kind of has a cool gimmick. It's got a little bit of spring. The spring's a bit stiff, so don't expect that to work out too much if you're going to try to use that in your favor. But I mean, it moves both ways. And then it has Charge, which is this driver, which kind of looks like what would happen if you were to fuse Yard from Emperor Phonies with Iron from Siege Excalibur because of the metal claws around, but with the wide tip. And then pretty good teeth, I'd say. He's definitely more built to kind of try to outlast, but either way. Next we have the defense type of the group, and that is Bushin Ashura. And fun fact for you all, this is actually the first Gachi Beyblade that I had received, which I think kind of makes him special to me. But you've got breakdown of the parts. Gachi chip is known as Ashura, and for those of you who are mythology geeks, Ashura is actually Hindu mythology for divine, so essentially he's a god, which is pretty cool. Then you got the layer weight, which is 10. And no, not like the disc that comes on Revive Phoenix 10. No, that one is the actual numbers 10. This is spelt out T-E-N. But this is what it looks like. It's next, so it's kind of like the Roman numeral in a way. Then you've got the Bushin layer base. I really like the colors, like the fact that it's got the kind of that golden green colors to it, which are both really cool. Next up, we've got the disc, which is Hurricane, which series flashback to the God Layer series with Tempest Wyvern because of the free spinning disc and the fact that it's actually a purple free spinning disc. And it can come off, but I don't know what exactly that implies. Like, I don't know if they'll add that as some sort of specialty gimmick. I mean, yeah, you can reverse it so that it looks like that instead and then there, but I like to keep it on the top so it would look like, there we go, like that. And yeah, it's free spinning, pretty cool actually. And then a really weird defense type driver. This is called Keep, but it's got, again, it's free spinning, but it's rubber on this part. I don't know why they added that. I mean, yeah, it works. But still, it's one of those, why? And I just threw the disc on the ground. Okay. So, putting it all together. And then I've used these guys a bit, so the teeth might be a little worn down, but that's what it sounds like. And now for my newest addition, and probably one of the most powerful, we have Wizard Fafnir. And Wizard Fafnir is a counterclockwise stamina type, who apparently is apparently going to be the strongest spin stealing. But one thing I will point out, sadly, I mean, I'll mention this a little later in the video, but the only thing you can mix with him and the other ones is the layer weight. I like the fact that he's kind of a nice golden color. Here's the Gachi chip. It's Fafnir. Here is the layer weight, Sen, which has all of them covered. And then we have the Wizard layer base, which I like to point out, all this blue, like all of that around there, that is all rubber. So the spin stealing power just boosted up. It's like they took all the good qualities from both his previous forms of Geist Fafnir and Drain Fafnir, because it's got the large piece of rubber, but it's the calmer design and the more circular build. So next up we've got the disc, which is Ratchet, and free spins one way, but like it'll free spin that way, but if you try to spin it the other way, it'll actually hook on. So when you try to spin it that way, it'll hook. When you try to spin it this way, it'll be fine. And this one can also come out, but it's a bit more of a pain to do so. Let's see if it'll let me. Come on. Okay, he's not gonna let me. Sorry, you don't get to see that, but yeah, so it's another one of the free spinners, at least one direction. But then finally we have the driver, which is Rise. Really interesting driver because it's got a really wide base. So it's kind of what would happen if you were to lock, like for those of you who know of Blast Genius with his driver guard, how the cone? I don't know how to describe it. But that piece, like if you were to lock it down, then that's essentially Rise, which I just dropped. On the bonus side of the driver itself, with that setup on it, you'll be able to do what's known as spin revival, which is where you just set it on the stadium floor. It'll be able to hold itself, and as it makes contact with other Beyblades, it'll start speeding up, which is actually really, really cool. But here's the teeth. So they're okay teeth. Something I will point out from the anime, I absolutely hate Fumia. What happened to Free? Can we please get Free back? Like, okay, pros and cons. Pro for Free. Or Free versus Fumia. Free will respect his teammates no matter what. Fumia will be completely disrespectful to his own sister just because she stood up to him. Free isn't super cocky and will actually give a reason for why he does what he does. Fumia, first time they battled, Free held his launcher up by hand and said, if I used my launcher, it would be over too quickly. Fumia just put the Beyblade down and, from what I understood, pretty much said, just try to knock it down. I'm sure it'll give you some trouble. Wasn't great. Free will not let the fame go to his head. In fact, in one of the episodes, you even see how he blocks out all the noise at the stadium. It's a really cool trick. Fumia, on the other hand, we'll just let it all come at him. It's one of those, come on, give me the cheers, give me the cheers, give me the cheers. He's like what would happen if Joshua Burns got his hands on Fafnir. I don't like it. But yeah, those are the 4 Beyblade Burst GT releases. Apparently the next one is going to be this Beyblade known as Judgment Joker. There's been videos out there, you guys can look him up. From what I've seen in those videos, he does actually look pretty cool. He would definitely be one that I'd be wanting to get, though I'm curious if he's going to be, or what type he's going to be. Yeah, let me know in the comments below which of these is your favorite. Grand Dragon, Wizard Fafnir, Slash Valkyrie, or Bushin Ashura. In the comments below, which of these is your favorite? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, hit the bell, that way you'll get notifications for when I do my ramblings. If you have done the bell and the subscribe, which you kind of have to do to subscribe to get to the bell, but that's besides the point, you're amazing. If you've done all that, comment. You know what? Let's start something. For those of you who have watched all the way up to this point, I want you to comment down, bring free back. So, if any of you guys have made it this far, comment that down below, and I'll know how many of you guys are truly that awesome. This is Neo Autodata Streak signing out and saying, let it rip.